do you think of? Amazing skill, beautiful goals, or perhaps even fear of flying? We know so little about him, yet he is still regarded as one of the finest foreign footballers to ever have graced our shores. Of course, he commanded centre stage, but he never asked for the spotlight. Since he retired nearly 6 years ago, all interview requests have been politely declined. He is such a private man. Until now. He's written a book, so I've come to Amsterdam to try and delve into the mystery and find out the magic that lies behind Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis, it's terrific to see you. It's a fascinating book, but what interests me the most is that you've always been a very private person. Why have you written a book, and why now?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of questions asked already about writing a book during my career. I never felt comfortable with it. I always was more focused on my career. Then I felt the books that were in the market in England were more about sensation, you know, it was more controversy and stuff. I wasn't comfortable with that. I didn't like that. So I was more interested in the quality of the book, quality of the football, and try to bring that into a book. After my career, I got in touch with Jaap Visser again, the Dutch writer of the Dutch book, and after that with David Winner of the English book, and I felt comfortable with those guys. They had a good view on my career. They good philosophy about how to write a book, and that's what made those two books. And in the end, I'm very happy that I've done it, because it took some time. It took a lot of work, but in the end, I'm very, very happy I've done it.
It gives us a real insight into your character, and to me it comes across that you're someone who's very balanced, logical and methodical. Is that true of your character and also the way you approached the game?
Yeah, I would say so. I think most of all I was really focused on my career, focused on football, not only on the pitch but off the pitch as well. I needed to have things in my way, you know, structured.
Structured. I mean, everything is logical. We're sat not far from where you grew up, and even as a young boy, you used to kick the ball against the wall to see how the ball would behave, so you could master it. Is that literally how you learned to play football?
Yeah, it was an interest. It was an interest about football. I was always focused on how it works. I mean, the patterns in football, the way to pass the ball. But that started at an early age. I was really enjoying how it works, the first touch, the being both feet, you know, left and right, controlling the ball, passing the ball, but not like scoring goals, for example, which is the obvious answer. But I was more focused on how does a ball bounce and how can I control it from a difficult bounce? How can I take the ball from across in a certain area and then make it difficult for the goalkeeper, for example.
You also talk about how you learned to master or to understand anticipation on what would happen next in a game, bordering on telepathy. How did you do that?
Well, it's again, I'm interested in those patterns in football, trying to understand where someone can be within 1 or 2 seconds from this point. I think that's where a lot of my assists come from, seeing things that others maybe not have seen. But just because I was interested to give a pass like that, or to do a certain trick or a control, and when it didn't work, it looked absolutely rubbish. But most of the time, luckily, it worked out well. And why it worked, I feel, because as a young player, as a young boy, I was always controlling the ball, being busy with the ball.
I wish you could control that door, but never mind. Would you say that your talent was nature or nurture?
I think it's both. I think talent is there.
I mean, you have to be getting the chances to show your talent. You have to work on your talent, most definitely. And then again, you need to have some sort of commitment as well to keep doing that, to be interested in that and set goals and go further and set goals again and go further. That's basically a combination of those two.
How much were you helped by being schooled in Ajax? And you've got really the grand masters, Cruyff, Rijkaard, Van Basten. What did that contribute to your development as a person and a player?
Well, during my time, when I was a young player at Ajax in the youth development over there, it was the best one in the world. Always controlling the ball, always passing the ball, always busy with the ball, always it's part of your education there. Being a technical player, think about what you're doing. I think that's where it all started for me, and of course there are big names like Cruyff, Van Basten. Of course those names would come up very quick, but they could be successful because of that philosophy at Ajax, because they could show that their game, because it was the philosophy of Ajax, that sort of play.
Because you are, as we keep saying, a very logical and balanced person, is the only thing that has ever happened in your life that, if you like, spooked you, the sudden appearance of the phobia of flying? Because it's in many ways not logical.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's therefore it was a big blow for me as well. How it comes, yeah, it's difficult to understand. It came slowly. And at one point I made a decision just before coming to England that I wouldn't fly, and it was such a relief for me that I could focus on football again, get that part out of your system, and it helped me to be a better player. I'm definitely sure about that it helped me to become a better player in England, just by making that decision.
Okay, we'll talk more in depth, but how would you sum up your time in England?
Success. I mean, even the bad moments was something you had to experience, but was luckily I had them. You know, it's been tremendous. I mean, great team, great league, great competition, everything. I think we've talked about this before many times, that the atmosphere in the English stadiums, in the league, the way people approach the game, the fans, the commitment by English players. For me, it was a happy marriage from the beginning. I really felt at home, and yeah.
We talked about Arsenal and the past. When you look at Arsenal now, what do you make of them and the start they've made to the season?
It's interesting. It's really interesting. I see a lot of freshness in the team. I see a lot of things that's similar to my time at Arsenal.
Such as?
Well, I see a lot of movement in the team. A lot of how do you say it? Commitment. A lot of they know what they want to do. They know how they want to go forward. There's a good passing game going on. There seemed to be, in the last few years, something had been missing. If you had Robin van Persie up front, you miss someone in midfield to provide him, you know, to get him to give him a chance up front.
Two questions. Sorry to interrupt you. I know you don't like comparisons, but who do you think you're more similar to, Robin van Persie or Mesut Ozil? And do you think Arsenal can win the Premier League this season? Well,
you know, I don't like comparing players to others, but if you look at the comparison, I think Robin is more the goal scorer, and Mesut is more the player who links up, and I think I'm more or less that sort of player. I've been a goal scorer at Arsenal, but I'm not for a long time, just for 1 or 2 years.
Can they win it from what you've seen?
From this start, well, it looks really good. It's enjoyable to watch, but it's effective as well.